Now my favorite thing to do with priority mergers is actually create logic gates with them. Now credit to Illusion911 for posting these designs on the Satisfactory Reddit, but I think this is really cool. Is there a practical use case for this? Probably not, but I still think it's worth looking at. So what we have right here is a combination OR gate and an AND gate. This left output represents the OR output, and this right output represents the AND output. So how does this work? Well, our logical zeros and our logical ones will be represented by having materials on the belts and not having materials on the belt. So as of right now, we have no input, and so both of our gates are 0, as they should. These two storage containers will represent our A and B inputs. Our A input will be bauxite, and our B input will be coal. Now, if we connect our A input, this should show a logical 1 on our OR gate, and as you can see, it does. If I disconnect it, and then to connect our B input, you should still see a logical 1 on our OR gate, but our AND gate has remained at 0. Let's connect both of them now. Now that both are connected, you can see that both of our outputs are on, because A or B is true, also A and B is true. As you can see, the gate is built with a priority merger as well as a smart splitter. Our priority merger has its center input set to high. This means that it will prioritize any input coming in through this belt here. Our smart splitter has its left output set to any, and our center input is set to overflow. Now if we connect our A input here, it'll just get sent right through. If that input is not there, but we have a B input, it'll first send it through the left output of the smart splitter, which will then be merged into our priority merger, so we still get the expected output. Now if we connect both of them, it'll prioritize this center conveyor. It'll only send that material through, which means our smart splitter will get backed up, requiring it to send its output through its overflow. And there you have it, an OR gate and an AND gate. Well, we have two gates, but what about the NOT gate? Our NOT gate can be built like this. However, one key difference is that you will be required to have two separate materials in order for this to work. So our iron ingots here will represent our input, and you will also need another material here. In this case, we have deuterium ingots. Now a NOT gate means that an input is inverted, so a 0 becomes a 1 and a 1 becomes a 0. So let's connect up our gate so we can see that in action. So as you can see here, our input is a 1, as the iron ingots represent our input, and this line here will represent our output, which is currently 0. However, if we cut off our iron ingots, so now we have an input of 0, you can see here that the deuterium ingots now can go through, and they will go all the way through the output to represent a logical 1. Our priority merger again has its center input priority to high, and our smart splitter will just separate the two materials. Now I'm not really sure what you can use these logic gates for, but with AND, OR, and NOT gates, you can technically make anything that you want, including NAND, NOR gates, as well as encoders, decoders, and multiplexers. Which means it's only a matter of time before someone who is way smarter than I am figures out how to get Doom running in Satisfactory. So what do you guys think of priority mergers? Do you guys plan on using them? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to follow as I go over all of the upcoming changes in the Satisfactory 1.1 update.